Today on the podcast, I want to talk about something really interesting that OpenAI has recently announced at their developer day. And this is something we've seen from other players like Adobe, but essentially OpenAI is promising to defend business customers against copyright claims that might come due to use of their AI models. Now, this is interesting because they have not just the text models, but they also have the image models. And of course, I think this is all just a big precursor to when video eventually gets rolled out. They're doing a lot more with audio now. And so I think this is really, really interesting today on the podcast. I'll dive into all of that, everything that's happening, and exactly, what they have said on all of that. But before I do that, I want to say a big thank you to the over 220 people that have invested in the AI Box Republic crowdfunding campaign. I'm absolutely blown away. We've reached over $250,000 in the first week we launched this just last Monday. And so this has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm super, super excited for where this goes. We're really excited to really democratize people's knowledge of AI and democratize their access to, creating revenue from AI and their AI knowledge. So really excited about that. If you're interested in investing in AI Box, you can go over to republic.com/AI-box. I'll leave a link in the show notes to that as well so you can find it. But without further ado, let's dive into the podcast episode today. Welcome to the world's #1 AI podcast, AI Chat. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Make sure that you go to aibox.ai, link in the show notes, to join the waitlist for our new AI platform. We're going to be launching an incredible platform that allows you to build anything you want with workflows in AI. So you're able to chain together ChatGPT and image generators and audio generators to make really powerful apps for your organization, or you can host them on our marketplace and actually generate royalties from them. So make sure to go to aibox.ai and join the waitlist. In addition, if you like the podcast, if you could do me a massive favor and please leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. This helps me be able to get better guests on here as they check the reviews to see how you guys are liking it. So if you could please do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. OpenAI, in a move that I think really aligns with industry peers, has launched a new initiative, which is Copyright Shield. And this is essentially to back businesses utilizing its AI tools in the event of copyright infringement lawsuits. So this protection comes as a relief to customers leveraging the more widely available services within OpenAI's developer platform, as well as enterprises employing ChatGPT Enterprise for their operations. This is something a lot of people have been kind of concerned about. They're like, obviously companies that are a lot more risk averse, that are concerned about this kind of stuff, they're like, oh my gosh, what if we use some sort of AI tool and we get sued because there's some sort of copyright issue? And so that kind of steered a lot of companies away from using these tools. And so in an effort, I think, to really win back those customers, OpenAI has now launched this Copyright Shield that they're hoping is really going to help people not have those concerns. This is very similar to what Adobe recently did a couple months back when they said, hey, look, we've, created our own AI model trained off of our own custom, image data set that we have, rights for every single image that goes into it. And if you get sued for copyright issues in regards to any of the images we generate, we're going to cover the legal lawsuits. So that was Adobe's deal. And I think because of that, OpenAI has kind of had to rethink how they address copyright, especially for some of their corporate clients. So I think kind of this proactive stance from OpenAI is going to see the company absorbing legal costs for customers that are navigating the intricate waters of intellectual property claims tied to content created by OpenAI applications. And applications meaning, of course, ChatGPT, but then you also have DALL-E 3, which is the image generator, which I'm very curious how they're going to go about doing that, because DALL-E 3, as far as my knowledge, was trained on like all the images on the internet, which they do not have copyrights to. So I'm curious to see how that goes. However, I think the extent of this safety net doesn't appear to blanket all product tiers. So the free or plus offerings of ChatGPT are not covered. So even if you have ChatGPT Premium, It's not covered. This is just for their enterprise clients. And I think the details on training data remain somewhat opaque at the moment. And the details on training data indemnity are not very clear either. So this is kind of interesting to me. What they did say was, quote, OpenAI is committed to protecting our customers with built-in copyright safeguards in our system. They said that in a recent blog post. But the announcement essentially comes amid a broader conversation about the complex copyright landscape around generative AI models, including ChatGPT, GPT-4, DALL-E 3. All of them have to navigate this. And I think these AI models are really honed on a massive, essentially a data set drawn from a ton of different media. And this has raised a lot of questions about ownership and licensing of the material that they essentially are sucking in and using to create their outputs. I think the concern over IP infringement isn't unfounded, given the AI's potential to create content that mirrors its training examples too closely. This definitely could be an issue, and I think that could spark some copyright disputes. Industry surveyors mirror this. There's kind of this apprehension that's going on in the market right now, and kind of reveal the intellectual property issue stands as a significant worry for companies incorporating generative AI into the workflows, right? So a bunch of surveys went out to a bunch of big companies, and that's the big apprehension. That's the big concern that a lot of these major corporations and enterprises are experiencing right now. So I think OpenAI's decision places it alongside a bunch of other tech giants. I think right now we have IBM, Microsoft, Amazon, who are kind of leading visual content providers like Getty Images and Adobe, who have already taken measures to safeguard their generative AI clientele against IP claims. But I think as OpenAI steps into the ring with this kind of defensive posture, I think it could, well set the precedent for future conduct across the AI industry, which is kind of ensuring that innovation in AI doesn't come at the cost of, the legal peace of mind of its enterprise users. And I'm not going to say all users, because all users are not protected in this. Really is just the enterprise users that I think are getting the protection at the moment. It'll be interesting to see if that rolls out more broadly to everyone in the future, or if they're just going to continue kind of protecting their corporate clients and kind of, essentially saying if there's a lawsuit, we'll defend you. This will be interesting to see how this rolls out in the future and what other companies decide to offer similar, essentially, deals for their corporate clients.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. That's the sound of switching your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling. Harness the best converting checkout and same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Stop leaving sales on the table. Discover why millions trust Shopify to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech23.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast, where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.